Thanks to Tuesday's vote, Maine is now the third state in the country to give government the ability to to regulate and license nonprofit organizations to provide medical marijuana to qualified patients.
But now that the state has a shrinking budget, state officials are wondering where that money to do that will come from. Adrian Bennett reports.
While the state is now in charge of how, where, and when medical marijuana will be distributed to patients, there are still more questions that need to be answered before anyone is given a license to sell, a process that's likely to take months to figure out.
The frequency with which we license and oversee the dispensaries is an area that we have a lot of detail to be sorted out. How many they are, where they are, who they are.
Within days, Governor Baldacci is expected to draft an order to create a task force, a team of health officials, attorneys, and public safety personnel charged with figuring out how they can implement a law that Mainers want.
We want to be sure that this is really only available for the purposes for which it is intended, for what we think the citizens voted on. For people who are unable in any other way to manage their pain.
A $5,000 licensing fee will be required, but Harvey says it's not enough to regulate the program.
Who will have the responsibilities, what will the costs be, and how will we finance those costs? And in this climate, there's no question that any kind of additional burden, if you will, on the state budget is going to be a challenge.
But it's a challenge Bruce Merkin from the Marijuana Policy Project says can be met.
There's no reason that this needs to be terribly elaborate and expensive. There's not a lot of infrastructure that the state really needs to put in place. They simply need to put together a simple set of rules and review the applications that come in. That's not something that's going to take thousands of people to do.
I think I've been in government long enough to understand that any kind of oversight function that we have is never as simple as it seems.
Adrian Bennett, WABI TV5 News, Augusta.
Some Mainers, including Don Christian, one of Maine's biggest supporters of medical marijuana, says the law as it stands right now is not something he supports. Christian says he will fight for a new law during the upcoming months.